Greetings, I am Brenda Smith, and welcome back to another session of How to Live on Earth Like It Is in Heaven. Now that we know that our real person is the invisible image of God on the inside of our earthen vessels, it's time to find out God's original plan for us in this earth. In Exodus 3, on the backside of the desert, God showed up and spoke to Moses. Yes, God did speak to Moses, but God did not speak to Moses until Moses turned aside to see. God did not speak to Moses until God had Moses' undivided attention. God is not going to speak to us and give us instructions with revelation, knowledge, and understanding until we give him our undivided attention. Then God will call us by name and introduce himself to us, just like he did Moses. Then God will begin to give us instructions. Let Moses be our example by being afraid to look upon the face of God. Don't let pride and arrogancy be a part of you. You may think you and God are so close, but let Moses be our example. If we expect to receive anything from God, we must be humble and know how to bow down and worship him. When God shows up, we gotta worship him. We must be real with God because God knows our heart. Let me tell you a story right here. This lady told me that her pastor removed her from her leadership position and she had to sit down for a while. She told me even though he had her sitting down, in her heart, she was standing up. So know that God knows what is really in our hearts. And guess what? We do too. God needs our undivided attention so that our ears will receive the instructions he has to give us. Now, let's look at God's purpose for calling us. It is not for us to get a new car or a house or other stuff. Throughout the scriptures, God called individuals to set afflicted people free. God wants his people from under the taskmasters. Now it is time for us to realize and know our taskmasters. Pharaoh was the taskmaster for the children of Israel. Now remember, food got them in this position in the first place, and they was comfortable for a while until a taskmaster took office that did not know Joseph. So God called Moses and told Moses what his desire was for the children of Israel. In Exodus 3:8, and I am come down to deliver them out of the hands of the Egyptian, and to bring them up out of there into a good land, into a large land, unto a land flowing with milk and honey, unto the place of the Canaanites and the Hittites and the Amorites and the Perizzites and the Hittites and the Jebusites. Now, God told Moses, I am come down to deliver them out of the hands of the Egyptian. Notice, God said, I am come down to deliver them, but yet he was speaking to Moses. God cannot come down to the earth unless he has a physical body in the earth. Let's do a FYI right here. This is why God took our physical bodies and came to earth and demonstrated his will in our earthen vessels on earth. Now, not only does God want to bring his people out of captivity, he wants to bring us up into a good land and a large land flowing with milk and honey. God lets us know that this land is where our enemy resides. In the beginning, God placed Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden and gave them dominion. And this was the land where Satan resided. God gave Adam and Eve dominion, and Satan was not going to give in without a fight. Even though God had given us everything that pertaineth to life and godliness, just like Adam and Eve, Satan is not going to give up without a fight. And just like with Adam and Eve, listen, then Satan came and deceived Adam and Eve, and they surrendered their dominion. All Satan had to do was to get Adam and Eve to disobey God. So what is your action when Satan comes and deceives you? Therefore, we must realize that we must get into position and receive instructions from God to know that God wants us to do what God wants us to do. We must know how to go and to carry out God's instructions in order to be able to bring the people out of captivity to possess the land that God has preordained for us. We need to prepare ourselves so that God can use us to set the captives free, just like he used Moses. In order for God to accomplish this in our life, his desire is for us to get into position and give him our undivided attention and worship him, just like Moses did. Let's look at what God said to Moses in Exodus 3:10, because this will be the type of situation that we will have to deal with when God sends us to set the captives free. Let's read Exodus 3:10. Come now, therefore, and I will send thee unto Pharaoh, that thou may bring forth my people, the children of Israel, out of Egypt. So once God got Moses' attention and Moses got into position, God gave him instructions. We need to get into position to get instructions, and our instructions will be similar to that of Moses' instructions, because God calls us to send us. If you notice, a lot of people are called to the ministry and never sent. Know that when you are sent to set the captives free, you will have to address the taskmasters, the tutorers, and the governors. They are the ones that will have to give the people permission to leave out of captivity, just like with Moses. Don't think it will be easy. Let's not get so religious. Remember, we have a part and God has a part. If we do our part, know that God will do his part. Be here for the next session where we will learn not only we have to address the taskmasters, the tutorers, and the governors, we will have to address the ones that's in captivity. I am Brenda Smith, a Kingdom of Heaven ambassador, and this has been another session of How to Live on Earth Like It Is in Heaven.